Hey team, I just wanted to make this quick video going over the initial thoughts after looking at the PTB for 4.6.0. I just want you to keep in mind that I haven't actually played any games as the Trickster, or any of the Survivor stuff. This is just purely going to be going over what I think of his power or his perks as well as the Survivor perks. So his power is the showstopper. So you start the trial with 60 blades, press and hold the power button to wind up and enter the throw state. While in the throw state, tap the attack button, throw a single blade, or hold down the attack button to unleash a flurry of blades. Throwing a flurry increases control and throw rate while decreasing movement speed. Restock blades at lockers. So it sounds like sort of like, I guess, Huntress with extra steps. But there's more. Laceration Meter. Survivor's Laceration Meter increases each time they're hit with a blade. Once the meter is filled, they will lose a health state, either becoming injured or downed. A Survivor's Laceration Meter will gradually decrease if they have not been hit by a blade for a short time. Hitting a Survivor with a basic attack will immediately decrease their Laceration Meter. This is going to be weird because, well, one, it depends on how easy it is to hit people with this particular blade, as well as how many blades it takes to lacerate them, I suppose you could say. Because if it's like 3 or 4 blades and then all of a sudden you gotta hit 4 of them just to get 1 health state, that just means that he's a worse Huntress. However, there is the special ability called Main Event. Each blade hit fills the event meter. Once full, Main Event can be activated by pressing the ability button. In this mode, the Trickster temporarily unleashes his full potential, wielding an unlimited number of blades. His throw rate is significantly increased and his movement speed does not slow while in the throw state. Now that could be good, obviously. Once you get the Main Event, assuming you can use it in a point where there are lots of survivors, like maybe when they're going to unhook, or there's a few survivors in one place on a generator or something like that, or I don't know, if you're on a map like Midwich or Larry's, well, maybe not Larry's, but Hawkins maybe, where it's kind of close quarters and whatnot, you can just spam the blades and blah, 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 you know, like crazy. Otherwise, I mean, 24 meter terror radius, 4.4 movement speed, that doesn't really scream like, yes, I would like to play this killer personally, because I don't know, I really like faster killers than this. Either way, I'm actually going to check in the custom game for the tier 3 perks, because I would prefer to see them in their improved form. So one of them is a hex, actually. I found this one kind of interesting. Hex crowd control. A hex that ensure those lesser than you are properly herded. The enemy blocks a window for 14 seconds after a survivor performs a rushed vault through it. The hex persists as long as the related hex totem is standing. I think that this is going to be rather hit or miss. Like, let's compare it to the other blocking perk, Bamboozle, which is somewhere right here. So Bamboozle is 16 seconds, and in certain long loops or really good windows, they can make a loop around and kind of, you know, mess with you a little bit, and the block is going to be gone. And so 14 seconds doesn't really strike me as something that is going to be terribly useful. However, against things like long wall jungle gyms, this is going to be insane. This is going to be nuts. Now, the other thing that I'm wondering is if they block like multiple windows at once, if this hex blocks multiple windows at once. So like say I go to an LT wall, like this is a bad example, but if I go to an LT wall and they vault through the first window and then they vault through the next window right after that on the LT wall, will it block both of those windows? That's obviously something that I'm gonna have to test just because I'm curious. But other than that, I think that this could be a potentially decent perk if you're somebody who can slow things down, like slow them down in a chase or speed up in a chase, like Clown. Next one is No Way Out. This one I was like very excited for. You're not going to let anyone into the VIP room. Each time you hook a unique survivor, No Way Out gains a token. When the last survivor is repaired, the enemy blocks both exit gate switches for 10 seconds for each token in your possession. Now, I think that they're going to nerf this because this is going to be busted if you run an endgame build, assuming you manage to hook every single person, right? So imagine it like this. Let's say you run No Way Out, Bitter Murmur, Noed, and like, I don't know, like either Blood Warden or maybe Remember Me or Barbecue if you really like blood points. Either way, you know, Bitter Murmur plus this is going to be insane. Okay. So last exit gate is repaired. Suddenly you see all 4 survivors. Oh, hi. How's it going, buddy? You see all 4 survivors, and you know, you just go hit them. They can't leave, and in that time, you got a buffer of 40 seconds where you can just go and, you know, murder people before they can even start opening the exit gates. You know, you combine this with a fully maxed out Remember Me, and that's what? Where's Remember Me? Where's Remember Me? There it is. 4 seconds up to 16 additional seconds. What is the opening time like? I don't even know how. It's like 12 seconds. So, you know, it's gonna be a long time before they get those exit gates open. You know, this actually gives you the potential to have endgame builds, because you just get 40 seconds for free. This is really good. I've been looking for something like this for a while. Something that doesn't rely on anything but just like, here you go, have some free time at the end. I might actually run this on Blight for a little while to see if it's any good. And then his final perk is Starstruck. Your unmatched showmanship dazzles all. Starstruck activates when you're carrying a survivor. Survivors within your terror radius suffer from the exposed status effect for 30 seconds. Starstruck cools down for 90 seconds once a survivor is no longer carried. This is interesting. I am not sure about this one. The cooldown makes me think that it's gonna be a little weird. You know, like you're not gonna get it on every pickup. I don't know. This is going to require some testing to get any value out of it. I think it's going to be quite interesting, because you could probably run this with something like Agitation, because a little known fact, Agitation actually increases your terror radius by 12 meters. So you could use this and on a regular killer, and suddenly, you know, you've got a 44 meter terror radius with Starstruck, and then, you know, it's hard to know who you've affected, obviously, unless you can, you know, visually see them, and then you can go hunt them down and hit them. But like, the problem here is that once they're affected, say you pick them up and there's somebody nearby, and you got them with Starstruck, and they're 30 seconds affected by the exposed. What's stopping them from running literally the opposite direction as you, right? You've got 30 seconds to go find them, unless you're a killer like Nurse, or like Billy or Freddy, who can teleport across the map. Like, how are you gonna catch them? You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying is this 30 seconds is going to be no time at all. They can just leave, and it's going to be no issue. One thing I forgot to go over is the add-ons, which I would love to go over because these look quite interesting. So, start with the browns. Trick pouch. A pouch with a number of hidden pockets used by aspiring magicians and those with something to hide. Increase the maximum carried blades by 10. Start the trial with 10 extra blades. No, okay, yeah, sweet. This takes it from 60 to 70. That's okay. That's not bad. Memento Blades. Blood-rusted knives worn from overuse, employed during Ji-Woon's early murders. They hold the place of importance in his heart. So this is just. Oh, actually, it's not just the blood points. Because it get 100% bonus blood points is actually better than every other blood point increased thing because it's a percentage instead of, a straight up like additional amount. Moderately increases each survivor's laceration meter, unless that's something that actually hurts him. Oh, that actually might hurt him. Oh, yeah. You know what? Never mind. Oh, okay. Killing part chords, a set of chords that Ji-Woon never found a song for. Still, the sound is undeniably catchy. Slightly increases movement speed while throwing blades. Okay, all right, yeah, this is like, that's actually kind of cool because I like to use the movement speed one on Huntress now and then, while you're holding the hatchet. So that might be cool. Burnt wires from the studio fire that killed 4 of the 5 no-spin members. Their deaths gave rise to the Trickster. Slightly increases duration of main event. All right. Yeah, we'll have to see how this the duration of main event and all that sort of stuff and how often you can use it will be when using something like this. And of course, that has a bit of lore to it, and I'll get to reading the lore here soon. Tequila Moonrock, a drink invented by a modest Changwon bar, became a favorite of Ji-Woon's. Moderately increases the duration of main event. Okay. Increases the time before the laceration meter starts decaying. Okay, so it gives you a little bit of leeway. Not bad. I mean, nothing terribly creative so far. Slightly increases the survivor's laceration meter decay duration when out of blades. Interesting. Slightly increases each survivor's laceration meter decay duration when out of blades. That's kind of worded a bit weird, if I'm honest. I'm not sure how that one is going to work exactly until we get to testing. A signature from the celebrity known as the Trickster. Sore at his wrist, as his wrist was after hundreds of these. It was invigorating, though. It was so in demand. Slightly increases the initial throw rate of blades. Interesting. Maybe this is good because this looks like increased windup, like from Huntress. Moderately increases movement speed while throwing the blades. Okay. Decreases each survivor's laceration meter. Okay, so this means that they get hurt faster. Considerably increases each survivor's laceration meter decay duration when out of blades. So from what it looks like, each of these it sounds like it takes longer for them to decay if you run out of blades. So it gives you time to like reload and then go find them again and start throwing. Increase the time before the laceration meter starts decaying again, and more leeway time. Moderately increases the initial throw rate. Yeah, this is more of, what is this? This right here, initial throw rate. I don't know why it's like initial throw rate and then initial throw rate of blades, but anyway, whatever. Bloody Boa increases the maximum carried blades by 15. Start with 15 extra blades. Okay. Blades ricochet off the environment once, dealing an extra 100% laceration. This is gonna be weird. Ooh, this sounds like fun. Yeah, you know me. I like ricochet. Ooh, this sounds like it could be a good time. We'll have to see. Trickster's debut album, of course, in vicious tone. It was met with mixed reaction from fans despite critical acclaim. Blades shatter when hitting the environment, dealing 50% laceration to nearby survivors. This also sounds interesting. So if you miss but hit close to them, it'll still lacerate. Interesting. I can see this being really good with the main event once used. You just when a survivor's laceration meter is 1 blade hit away from the maximum, reveal their aura for 6 seconds. That's good to know. I mean, if you get good at this killer, I assume you're going to be able to, you know, count how many times you've hit them and then know how many more blades you need. However, I mean, obviously we need to play him to know how many blades it is, but it's still quite nice. It's kind of comparable to the purple add-on that Huntress has, so, you know, I'll take it. Blades pierce through survivors. Okay. Subsequent survivors hit by the same blade receive 50% laceration. All right. Oh, that sounds like fun. So far, the purples have been kind of fun. You know, ricochet, explosive, piercing. You know, this one's kind of dull, but it's good nonetheless. Yeah, these are all pretty neat purple add-ons. I really like them. I really like them a lot. Glass-like photo molded from the fog itself. Ji-Woon's eyes shimmer holographically on his grinning face. When a survivor's laceration meter is 1 blade hit away from the maximum, they are inflicted with exposed status effect. Dude, are you kidding me? Filling the laceration meter does not injure or down survivors. Oh. Okay. Oh my god, I was about to start yelling at behavior for this. I thought that they basically just added eerie heads onto this killer when, like, clearly everyone hates iridescent heads on Huntress. No, okay, so what this means is you need to get it 1 blade hit away from the maximum, and then you go hit them with your fancy baseball bat face, okay? So it's basically eerie head, but you need to go do the finishing hit with your bat, which is nice. I mean that's a way to solve it, right? So, like, imagine if eerie head was like you throw your hatchet and instead of hurting them, it just exposes them, and then you have to go and donk them with your axe to finish them. Which, I mean, looking at this means like that's probably what they're gonna change it to. Now that I look at it. But that's a curious add-on to have, because I thought that they were kind of moving away from, like, exposed status effect iridescence, which, I mean, I guess now that I think about it, the last one that they added was the blight, and that was 2 killers away. But either way, a collection of the final sounds from Ji-Woon's victims, adapted to a vinyl record, terrifying and emotionally raw. Laceration caused by blades is based on proximity to the target, starting at a minimum of 50%. Each blade hit increases the laceration caused by blades to a maximum of 200%. Once a blade misses, the laceration caused by a blade is reset to its initial value. Oh. So, really strong if you hit repeated hits. Like, really good. Like, really insanely good if you hit repeated hits. So, this add-on is fantastic. Like, this is so well designed because it punishes you if you're bad and rewards you if you're good, which is like peak gameplay design in my opinion, honestly. The certain add-ons in this game, especially, that on other killers that sort of cover up for when you make mistakes, I think is pretty bad design. But add-ons like this are gonna feel oppressive on really good people, because they are going to be so potent, and people are going to feel like they're only getting value out of this against good people because it rewards playing well, right? So that's going to be interesting. I like the add-on design. I don't know how it's going to be in terms of strength. It might be too strong. They might nerf it, which is pretty depresso. But that's okay. So yeah, these are all like quite interesting. You know, they seem to be following the mantra that they've been running with for add-ons lately. which is pretty much, you know, give it a worse add-on in the browns. You know, make most of the browns pretty meh. All the way up to greens pretty just basic stuff, like just numbers. But then once you get into purple, then it gets interesting, you know, like ricochet and shattering, blah 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 blah. And then of course Eries are strong and interesting at the same time, so that's cool. I think he might be interesting. I'll have to try him out. Obviously, like I talk a lot of crap about you know, like not playing Huntress and not playing other people because they're slow, but I play Deathslinger a lot because he's just fun. I'm really bad at him, but I play him anyway, so we'll see. We'll have to see. But yeah. And that is it for the killer side of the video. If you enjoyed this, please give it a like, maybe comment down below to start a conversation. If you haven't subscribed already, I would do so now, just so you can see even more content just like this and other stuff. Thank you guys so much. Have a good one.